What up, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. And on this show, since 2015, we have been documenting what works on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, WeFunder, equity crowdfunding campaigns, really what works when it comes to getting people to take action to support you, your dream, your passion, to buy a product that you've been working on, to come up with a new innovative idea, something more creative in nature, even putting on a theater or film project, bringing a new book to light, whatever it is, we talk about that on this show. And I try to bring on a variety of different guests for you guys who come from many different backgrounds, come from different locations around the world, who've raised, in some cases, $100K, in some cases, over $1 million. And a lot of people came to me in the early days and they're like, Sal, I hear you talking and blogging on crowdcrux.com. You know, this is super early days, like 2012, 2013. Is this really happening? Is this phenomenon of crowdfunding actually occurring? And so many people that came to me, I was like, I'm frustrated because, man, I see things working behind the scenes that I want to share with y'all. And sometimes it's just difficult to believe that not only can some of these products get funding, can not only some of these entrepreneurs push through obstacles and bring something new to the world, but also that these tactics, teachings, lessons, strategies, tools that I discuss actually freaking work. And that's exactly why I bring on these guests every single week, is so that we can prove to you, we can show to you that this is happening, man. This is happening. And this is such an exciting time period to be alive. The fact that you can actually go out there to the crowd, you can make an impact, you can build a story, you can get people to care about what you're doing. There's nothing before like that in the span of human history. And it's one of the best and easiest times to launch a new product, to raise capital for a new business venture. If you're a business startup, to get funding that way, right? It's one of the easiest times in the history of humanity to be able to do that. Now, in today's podcast, we actually brought on an individual who completely conceptualized a whole new way in order to actually rethink the sleeping bag. Okay, so this individual not only came up with this new product idea, he also had a bit of a history when it comes to that with his family of coming up with different product ideas, but he decided to pursue this full time. He decided to plow into this to really bring this from an idea into reality. And he was able to launch a crowdfunding campaign. And guess what? He actually attracted more than 1,000 backers to his campaign. In Hong Kong dollars, I think it was around 2 million. I think in US, that's around a little bit over 200K, if I do my math, just under 300K in US dollars. And not only does this show that anyone around the world can actually do one of these campaigns, but it also demonstrates to you the actual teachings that went into that, what was happening behind the scenes, what was he doing to push this thing up the hill, what was he doing in terms of what works to get funding. And I think most importantly, I think this individual's take on building a brand, something that goes beyond just a one-off product, or what they say nowadays, the kids say like drop shipping, right? Or just kind of reselling something. We're really actually building a brand. A brand stands the test of time. We still go into malls, we still go into different locations. And what do you look at? You look at brands, right? Brands are so incredibly premium. They are so powerful. They punch through the noise and they really get the attention of people around the world. And a brand is much more than just coming out with a new product. It's the entire story that goes into that, the struggle of the entrepreneur, the quality of the product, the way they actually went thinking about the design, and even just the impact that they want to have on the world. So if you're interested in brand building, you're interested in getting funding for a Kickstarter campaign, learning more about crowdfunding, I really think you're going to like today's podcast episode. And for those of you that are just kind of getting started in this industry, I got a great free course out there for you, my free Kickstarter course, which walks with you really just every single step of the way that you need to know in order to launch a new campaign. You can go and check out that free course at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter. That link is crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter. Crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter will take you there. And it also got a great audiobook out there on Audible. And you can actually sign up on Audible for a 30-day free trial, and you'll get a free copy of my book, The Kickstarter Launch Formula. So if you like the way I bring my passion, my pizzazz, my excitement to these episodes, you'll also love the way I actually read the Kickstarter Launch Formula, which you can check out at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio. That link is crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio. Crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio will take you there. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Really appreciate it, man. And let's dive right in and let's discover how this individual, how this creator, how this entrepreneur was able to attract just shy of $300,000 on Kickstarter for more than 1,000 backers for a completely new product. And you're going to get the goods and discover all of that and what happened behind the scenes right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. Today we have the privilege of speaking with a creator who's attracted over 1,000 backers for his campaign for the ultimate aerogel sleeping bag designed for your extreme -40 degrees Fahrenheit, -40 degrees Celsius adventures on Earth, all around windproof, ultralight, and we got 10,000 mm waterproof. We got a creator here today, Kazaf, on the show. Welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Hey, everybody.
Awesome, man. So I'd love to get started. Maybe you can just talk a little bit about the product. And for those that are listening, you can describe it for them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, basically, our main advantage would be to utilize the aerogel into different products. In the past, we have been manufacturing many different kinds of outdoor products for some of our clients in Europe and across the North America. And then actually when we have been a big fan of Kickstarter and crowdfunding in general. But then since last year, we have been utilizing, because of the global crisis in terms of like the energy and stuff. So we were figuring, is this something we can do with the aerogel to where we can shift ourselves from selling directly to what we call to B clients, like businesses, but now can we also sell it directly to the consumers? So then we were scouting on, okay, what kind of products would be more suitable for us to utilize the aerogel. Well, the first that came to our mind would definitely be like outdoor products. We have done jackets in the past. We have also raised some campaigns in Japan on Aquake, which we have seen a huge success. But then this time we wanted to do something on a high level in terms of the temperatures. So that's when we were doing the market research. So we finalized that, okay, sleeping bag could be a very good entry point. Because there's no other products on the market that are utilizing aerogel. The conventional ones would be using down or other corn materials, which it has to be very bulky or heavy for you to carry around. And also one of my partners, Ali, he's an Italian. So he's connected to a lot of like outdoor influencers on YouTube. These influencers, they often traveled across Iceland, where they often encounter temperatures below 20 degrees. So, we were also consulting with them. Okay, what kind of products do you guys feel you will definitely be interested to support, and taking into the factors that is not conventional. Like we don't want to produce another jacket, for example. There's already a lot of like options for jackets, but then for sleeping bags, I think even 20 years ago, people are using down, and then 20 years later, there's nothing new about it. So we decided to
not too much innovation. Yeah.
Yes, to utilize a new material onto this. So that's why.
What is your role? What is your role at the company?
My background, I a digital marketers, so I do marketings. But then after partnering with my a longtime friend Ali, my partner, so basically he's a designer himself, and we are both very highly interested in outdoor gear and outdoor products. I have helped for brands in the past for power stations, and other related or relevant outdoor products. And I also have experience in product design as well. But my main core focus is product marketing. It's not about just doing the brand, because what I believe for a brand, it's not about how good of a product you do, or how fancy you position your brands at. It's more about the experience between you and the customers. That's how I would define a brand.
How long have you been doing the company before you brought this to Kickstarter?
The idea came actually early last year, yeah, and then I mean it's not just me. Uh, Basically, I am. You can say that I'm the product designer. But then we also have a very strong partners in this project where who can, supervise on the supply chain, make sure the products are produced well, and getting all the certifications. So it's been more than a year since we had this idea.
How long have you been doing your own company B2B style before doing the Kickstarter?
Since 2017.
Awesome. So you've been in the trenches, definitely. You've been working hard, obviously. Has it always been your goal to do your own company, or?
I won't say so because I never had the desire to build my own company. To be honest with you, for me, it's more about the value and the contribution that I can like I can give to the society and the people around me. That's why I've been working in AI industry. I used to be the CMO for a artificial like AI translator airbox, Time Cattle, which is I think the number one brand for AI translators. It has launched multiple very successful crowdfunding project as well, both on Kickstarter and in the Google. So my main goal is to give my visions and the way I would like to give back to the community. I mean, to the society as a whole, and also before I think another reason why I wanted to start my own is because when I used to work for somebody else, we have different visions on how to really do a brand. For them, it's more about sell as much as you can and sell as high as you can. But for me, that's not it. If I want to build something long term, the experience, the customer service is the number one, my priority in the brand. It's not the products. I mean, product is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but that will come second. The customer service, the experience, is definitely the number one.
And so it sounds like you had a pretty decent job, right, as a CMO in doing artificial intelligence, and then you decide to start your own company with your partners, right? And you kind of leap ship, and then it started to go really well, right? What really was the moment where you felt like, yes, this is the right decision? I'm so glad I made this decision.
Factually speaking, I was a little bit skeptical about Biigloo because I came from a background that's more like tech, like advanced tech. But then I always wanted to. That has something to do with my family. I would say this. My family came from a background. They have like 30 years of experience or 30 years of. They spent. I mean, my parents spent 30 years in manufacturing clothing. And also my hometown is quite famous in my country for producing a lot of clothes that gets distribute. So having a clothing brand where I can utilize my ideas of design has been a long dream for me, I would say. And also the other reason why is because I've been in the hardware industry. So I understand with hardware, there's are too many things you cannot control because like the chips, the Bluetooth, the connection stabilities, there are a lot of things in hardware where you cannot control. We have to rely on a third party. But then in terms of like producing clothes, as long as you can make sure the materials you use is good, is decent, and the product design has no faults, then most likely you will get good products and you will not get complaints from your customers.
Yeah. That's super ambitious, man. And to be able to extend your family and your hometown's legacy, right? That is so special. But I can imagine a year into this and you're about to launch a campaign on Kickstarter, like what was going through your mind the day before you went live with this?
I was super worried. I had to say, because we were launching a product that's more for winter. But then by the time we launched this project, it was end of January, so it was already too late. That's why if you have or if the people have been following our updates, I was quite honest in our in the update saying, we knew we didn't launch at the best time of the year for these products. I was thinking the project would most probably raise around 60 to 70. I think it really exceeded a lot how I would expect this campaign to be.
And how much did you end up raising?
We ended at 300.
Okay. And clearly you've never been to New York because it's very cold, well into like March, April, honestly. It's one of the longest winters there.
Actually, I have. It's just, if we launch the campaign at end of January, then the shipping time will be in March and April, which I think even New York will start to turn warm.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just obviously jabbing at you here. So when it comes to the campaign, right? You have some apprehension. You're a little bit worried because of the time, and also whether or not it's going to go well. So let's just say we fast forward the clock a couple of days. You go live. You start to get some backers. What did it feel like maybe after the first week when you were live with the campaign?
I think I was super thankful for how much Kickstarter has supported us. And also when we start, like on the first day, when we see we could raise 27,000 and people are actually buying these products. I think the first thing that came to my mind was I wanted to understand, is Biigloo something I should continue on building, and how much I should invest myself in the next 10 years into building this brand. Because like even before we launched, we shipped a prototype to I think about 80 influencers on YouTube. And to be quite honest with you, again, we haven't received a very nice feedback from these influencers. If the product was putting to test at negative 15, 20, they think it's good, but then above that, they also get skeptical, which made us realize, okay, we have to work on the product design. It's not about the material. It's about
the look, the feel,
how to filling out all those the gaps, so that to make sure the cold air doesn't go in. Before then, I was thinking, okay, aerogel, it's a very decent product. 1 millimeters of aerogel is equivalent to 30 millimeters of down. So it's super warm. But actually, when it comes to extreme conditions like that, it's no longer just about the materials. The product design itself, how to make sure a adult person is fit into the sleeping bag without any gap space. So then, to keep them warm is something that really surprised me, but at the same time got me highly interested of what the next step I should do.
Yeah. So for anyone listening, I mean, that's a huge takeaway is the sooner you get into other people's hands, right? The earlier you can get that feedback and you can iterate and you can really make some improvements, right, on the product. If you're worried about the fulfillment and shipping part of your Kickstarter campaign when it comes to getting out all those perks and rewards to your backers, rest assured, I've put together a complete Kickstarter fulfillment and shipping checklist for you, and it's free. This is sponsored by the folks at Fulfillrite, and they thought that you should have this checklist as part of your arsenal going into a crowdfunding campaign. If you want to get instant access to this checklist, and it's free, you can go to fulfillrite.com/checklist. Again, that is fulfillrite.com/checklist, fulfillrite.com/checklist. Just go to that link and you can download it immediately. One other question, obviously you have a good digital marketing background. If you had to think about it, what do you feel like is one thing you did really well that other people should emulate when it comes to launching the campaign from the marketing side?
Honesty and transparency. I would say in this campaign, I think one of the most important things I can take away from this campaign I have managed is that I can fully express how I feel about doing a brand, honesty and transparency. If like for the audience that are listening right now, if you go through our updates, you can clearly see that we try to be as transparent as we possibly could, in terms of even like we are open to admit any mistakes or any errors we have made in our product designs, and we understand we are new into designing sleeping bags. So I'm so super thankful for all those customers that who have feedback on how we should improve. And I think that's one of the key factors, which has brought the campaign to this success, because I can feel my honesty has somehow, um, you know been transferred into the consumers. Like they can feel, okay, this Biigloo is a honest and transparent brand. So even though you're not there yet, but I'm willing to support you. I think that's what real crowdfunding is more about. Recently,
I love
crowdfunding
that.
projects,
Yeah.
yes, recently crowdfunding projects have been, you have to say a lot of good things. The product is super ready to ship almost right after you finish the campaign. I mean, for me, that's not crowdfunding, that's a pre-sale. So first thing, improve the products, based on feedback. Second, fulfill at whatever cost. I think, yeah, that's what I believe then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's huge. And I think having that transparency and honesty is such an incredibly valuable piece of building the community. And I think you're building the brand at the same time. Right. So it's really cool to hear you say that. What was like the reaction of people around you or like, people in your family when they started to hear about you doing this campaign and getting backers and like, what was the reaction like?
I didn't tell my family about this. Yeah, I mean, some of my friends knew. I mean, they knew what I'm good at, and they are also aware of my weakness. But I'll say one of the, how was it, like when we started this, because I wanted to, when we produced like the 80, 100 prototypes and sent it to the influencers, it almost drained out the account. So actually, we didn't have much advertising budget, to promote this campaign. But then after we start to see this campaign is going well, like I have support from people around me to start really funding this campaign, like taking it to the next level. That's why I'm also super thankful for Kickstarter. I mean, because you guys may not know, but then when I shared the story with Kickstarter, and then like how we want to do this product with Kickstarter internally, they they really give us a lot of support. Even the CEO of Kickstarter featured us on his personal profile on Instagram, which is quite rare. And
Wow.
honestly, I never received such support in the past from any products, for any products. So super thankful.
That's so incredible. Do you feel like that was because they related with your story, would you say? Or was it your values? Or what do you think made them really be willing to do that?
I think it's the communication with the platform and the products, because what I am telling you now, and the audience who are listening, is the same thing I have told Kickstarter. I think Kickstarter, they value honesty, transparency, and not just by saying it, but they can see we are actually doing it. So that's why they're
Hmm.
willing to give the support. And then also the second comes to the products. We are like the first sleeping bag with these kind of materials. So I think, yeah, the product also definitely was something that helped to close the relationship.
Yeah, it's very unique, and definitely you guys should go and look at it. It's super cool design. I think really would be useful for anyone who's definitely in those environments. One other question I had for you is, we get a lot of questions. People coming in like Sal. I understand like there's this community on Kickstarter, but like where else do people find my project? Where would you say are the majority of people discovering you? Is it from Kickstarter itself? Is it from social media? Where have they discovered your project?
I mean, half of our backers came from the platform. And then we also have, I think, around 20, 30% from the influencers. I mean, even we, I mean, we don't have like, because that was the prototype, so we didn't have like a super good review saying like this product is something you must buy, blah blah. I mean, but I like that. I, these influencers even advise me, do you want me to publish this review, because it's not 100% positive. There are flaws, but I understand that. But I would like you to publish, because even if you don't, then people on Kickstarter will not be able to see how we are now, and then they will miss the chance to see how we are in the future. I want them to compare. And if you don't like, or if you have something negative about our products, say it now. No worries. After we finish with the final models, I will ship you another one again. At that time, do a comparison. That's the way to see how a brand actually grows. For me, growing a brand is not just about the team, but it's about like the people who have been supporting us along the way, so they can really feel. I mean, whatever I feedback and my opinions is being listened. That's why we are also like, what we will be shipping for the sleeping bags is very different than what you have seen on these YouTube videos. We have implemented a lot of new features, a lot of new things. Yeah, but so look forward to
I
it.
think that's really interesting, and I think it's a unique way as well to look at. Okay, if we come up with media now, they can see how much we've improved, right, since that point in
Yes.
time. So it's actually very smart. And one kind of follow up question I had for you is, I think you have like this religious focus on brand, right? And you really care about the perception, you care about the quality and the reputation. Why do you think that's something that you care about so much? Because there are many other companies that don't put that emphasis there. Has that always been the case? Does that go back to your prior work? Where do you feel like that comes from?
I think it's also because of my background. When I first started to work in Canada back in 2013, and then in 2017 I started to working for brands. I think I've been mainly in contact and speaking with more than 200 companies now. I would say 99% of them, the first thing they want to ask me is, Kazaf, how can I sell more? I mean, I am used to answering that questions. I think I'm good at answering that questions, but then I don't like answering that questions, because if you can do like, if you listen to your consumers and you're willing to make a change, selling more is the result. Making more money is the end result. What's important is what you do before these end results. But again, I mean, financially, I will understand them.
Yeah. So the degree to which you understand their pain points and things they'd like to have improved, the degree to which you understand that is the degree to which you can fulfill their demand, right? In which you can actually capitalize on that market, which you've found. Would you say that's accurate?
In a way, yeah, more or less.
More or less. Yeah.
Yeah.
um, Very cool, man. So out of curiosity, I mean, I think I know, when it comes to your work, what you're most passionate about, what has been the most rewarding aspect of running the campaign so far? Have you gotten any people messaging you at all or got any photos or anything like that?
I would say I have gotten 30, 36 or 37 very professional outdoor enthusiasts adding my WeChat.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, these are
That's
very,
really neat.
yeah, that's very, for me, that's a super valuable asset when I design my future products.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they're reaching out to you.
Yeah, a lot of them actually wrote me an essay telling me how to improve the product. So, yeah,
Wow. Yeah, that's really special, I'm
yeah,
sure.
I think like at least 500 words for each one of them.
That's great. And obviously then you have a lot of feedback as well. Um,
Yes.
you know,
So we are
my
confident
final
definitely we
question,
can.
I just have one
Yeah.
or two more questions for you here. And I love hearing your story. So just one or two more questions, for the listeners. Do you feel like there are any tactics or tips that you would give someone who does want to launch a campaign or is in the preparation stages? Anything you'd want to pass on aside from the brand building piece?
like in terms of marketing tactic.
Yeah, or any tips that you think would be useful for them.
Okay, don't dream on advertising. Like don't. Yeah,
Don't
I
dream on
mean,
advertising. Yeah.
actually, more precisely is don't dream that you like. A lot of companies thinking if I spend enough money, I can make enough sales. I came from an advertising background. I started with Google in 2013. So, I mean, with this campaign, we rarely spend advertising budgets. Mainly, we want to spread the words of the campaign through social media and influencers. Yeah.
Did you just like aggressively reach out to a bunch, or did you have a tool you used to help with that?
No, my partner helped a lot. He helped because he's in like a lot. I think more than 100 outdoor groups on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So we outreach to a lot of very good influencers. We even have we are also connected to uh, influencers who may have like very few subscribers on their YouTube channel, but then actually they're videoed. Maybe they have like for example, we have a friend with Lorenzo Barrate. He only has 79,000 subscribers, but then his YouTube channel he has videos that has over 50 million views. So he can produce a lot of very good content, and he's also one of the guides I have added WeChat because
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's constantly living in a conditions where it's below 40 degree.
Yeah. So you were going after not just like people who have a big follower count necessarily, but people who can make good content, right? And that are in your demographic.
Yes, and I think one of the most important thing from to take away for influencers on this, I would give the advice to don't pay. Ask the influencer to give honest reviews and don't pay them.
Okay. Okay. Very. I like that because that's also controversial. I think because a lot of people are like, oh, it's so much easier, right? Just pay him. But really, you want
Yeah.
honesty, right? You want real reviews.
Yes.
Cool, man. These are awesome tips and advice. Where can people go to learn more about your future products and also this one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we are currently building our website, and then for those like and before in doing this transition process, I think people can join our Facebook group. We will constantly update the project status, as well as like the future um, plans for the project. But mainly right now, I think the full team is working full time on the after sales, like delivery, and
Mhm.
also the web design and development.
Okay. Okay. My final question for you is at the beginning of the interview, you mentioned really wanting to fulfill that legacy you have, right? Of having family members who are in the
Mm,
clothing,
mm,
garment space, and also parents and stuff. What did it mean to you to really have this success now under your belt and to be able to now be building a brand? What did that mean to you?
First of all, I wouldn't say it's a success just yet. I have to wait till like the backers receive the product and what they say about it. Hopefully, it will turn good. But then the second thing would be because I'm not sure. Because I never really take this like legacy of thing. I really I never give it enough time to really think about it.
Okay, okay. I'd be very curious, yeah, to see, what you think maybe a year or two from now once you have fulfilled in those kinds of things. But maybe instead we could end with a final either quote you like or a word of encouragement for those that are just getting started, or a final tip, and we can end on that note.
Um, okay, I don't know how to like make it into fancy words, but then what I think is if you wouldn't want somebody to do something for you, I mean, actually, I have one. If you don't somebody to do something to you, anyways, I think the general meaning is, I believe, honesty solve everything. I think that's the last thing I would like to bring to these interviews.
Awesome. Be honest. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really looking forward to seeing your site up and running and for you to be selling this. and for you to be growing your brand. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, and look forward to
Thanks.
seeing if you do another campaign.
Sure, we will be. I think later this year.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. My name, again, is Salvador Briggman. If you've never listened to this show before, thank you so much. Give me a second to leave a positive rating and review on iTunes if you did enjoy this show. And obviously go and listen to some other episodes I got out there. I am cranking through new episodes every single week for y'all, really trying to get to what works in terms of a crowdfunding campaign, trying to demystify this for you. And I've been doing that for such a long time. And you can go back and again, you can see many different examples of success over the years, as well as what is continuing to work. What are the hallmarks when it comes to crowdfunding? What are some of the tools that you don't even know about that will help you get funding, as well as actually understanding the mechanism of crowdfunding? So super exciting. One other thing I want to mention is that, I wasn't always like the guy who was super excited to come to work. I wasn't always the guy who was really loving to buckle down and hustle towards his dreams. I wasn't always the person who was willing to wake up early, who was willing to put in a little bit of work even after the workday in order to push my own passions, my own dreams, my own excitement up the hill. I wasn't always that person, but kind of what I discovered, and it's actually, I think, very similar to falling in love, man. You ever been in love? When you are in love, you think about nothing else, and you're so excited and passionate about that experience, and you're willing to go the extra mile, right? If that's picking up flowers for a girl, or that's taking her out to dinner, or whatever it is, right? You're just excited about the process. And I think that when you finally fall in love with a product, with a project, when you have something that you're passionate about, you're serious about, you're enthusiastic about, it almost just pulls you towards those natural behaviors of wanting to wake up early, of wanting to put in a little bit of work after your maybe 9-to-5 job in order to pull this product and to actually start making progress, or to invest a Saturday. Oh my gosh, heaven forbid, right? Saturday, going to Starbucks and maybe learning a little bit about how to create a product, or learning a little about Kickstarter and crowdfunding, or maybe taking some time to go to a cafe and plow through the Kickstarter launch formula. You can get a physical copy of my book, and you can actually go and you can read this, and you can discover what goes into a crowdfunding campaign step by step. But other people out there, like, Sal, I don't have the time to do this. And that's why I also make things like my free course available to you, so that you can just be learning behind the scenes. You can be downloading a little bit of information every single week into your head, and you can make strides towards your dreams. For those of you, and I started to have people in my community, I think this is probably around 2016-ish, come to me and like, Sal, I love the podcast. I love the YouTube videos. I love the book. I love the blog, crowdcrux.com. I put out content there once a week. And they're like, dude, but can you please just like fast track this for me? I have so many questions. There's so much information. There's so many different quote unquote people that are trying to give me advice, and I don't really know what to follow. And the more I started to get these kinds of questions, that's when I realized that really to kind of make this a complete crowdfunding system, to make this something where you can not only discover how to launch a campaign, get educated about it, learn from other people, but also you're able to book a consultation. I realized that was kind of missing in the industry, and I actually pioneered that. And that's one of the reasons why I continue to this very day to do individual one-on-one coaching calls. And these are intensive coaching calls where you really should bring your A game. You should be serious about doing this project. You want to speak to an expert. You want to understand exactly what you got to do in order to get your ducks in a row to launch this campaign. And actually, I think honestly, the sooner the better, right? Because I can have a massive impact on your swing. If you're a golfer, right, one tiny little adjustment early on can make that ball just soar straight and true and really go down the fairway, right? But sometimes you get mirrored in bad habits. It's difficult for you to change your swing. You're like, hey man, I've been able to actually help you out a couple of months before. I would have such a much more profound impact on your game, right? Profound impact on your game. So I honestly think that booking those calls early on is one of the best ways to ensure that you're actually going on the right path, that you're focusing on the things that you need to have someone to also bounce ideas off of, to get your advice, to potentially work with other partners in the industry, all those kinds of things we talk about on the individual one-on-one coaching call. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go and check out this link I'm about to mention, fill out some information, and we can get that call scheduled ASAP, and we can really make sure that you're dialing in on this and doing the things you need to in order to smash through your goal with your crowdfunding campaign. That link is crowdcrux.com/coaching. crowdcrux.com/coaching, crowdcrux.com/coaching will take you there, and you can book a one-on-one individual coaching call with yours truly. Looking forward to connecting with you. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and go and check out some of the other ones. And if nothing else, if you did enjoy this, give it a positive rating and review so that other people that come to this show, to this podcast, know that it's worth their time, and they're going to get some great hard-won lessons from the trenches out of this when it comes to crowdfunding. Thank you so much, man. Hope you have a great day, have a great week, and start making some action towards your goals.